Good late morning, everyone. Okay, so some of us have had an eventful night and morning around the world. New Zealand, Canada, US. I'm just going to share my screen here. I'm sure by now most of you have heard about the tsunami advisories and warnings. But I wanted to bring something strange into it. Okay, so there's that. UFO researcher finds ancient underground alien structure in Antarctica. Yeah. The prolific UFO researcher made another potentially significant discovery. He believes he has located an ancient alien structure hidden underground in Antarctica. The four most common places that aliens use for their bases or nearby Earth are alleged to be underwater inside of volcanoes. Okay, so I have a question here. How do they know the four most common places that aliens use for their bases on or nearby Earth are alleged to be? Okay, so it does say alleged. To be underwater inside of volcanoes, preferably active, on the moon and frozen tundra of Antarctica. The reasoning behind these choices is thought to be because they are places where, number one, most human beings will never ever look. Number two, even if they did, it would be very difficult to do so. Interesting. One prolific UFO researcher, Scott Waring, has been studying these locations for years and recently made another potential significant discovery. Waring writes on his website that he was pursuing Google Earth, doing his usual investigations when he came across something strange. I found a buried location of ancient alien structure, he writes. When I changed the time of the photos, an earlier photo reveals an airport runway freshly made, dozens of trailers, tractors, and it looked like the mound was being excavated by scientists and military. I believe they found an ancient alien structure under the snow and ice. While scrutinizing this discovery, Waring says he also noticed something else. I also found the face of Jesus near the evacuation site, he writes. The face is that of a male with a long hair, beard, mustache, long face, and a crown of thorns on his head. Not to mention that his eyes, nose, chin, and cheeks all clearly showing. These two locations are also close to standing dark figure I found last year on the snowy mountain. It's the figure of a huge bipedal being that could be or could only be alien. It can't just be a coincidence that all these pieces of evidence are so close to each other. I believe they are all related and build on the theory the ancient aliens once inhabited Antarctica. Okay, so Waring also points out Jesus was an alien who came to Earth to instill morals and rules to help a chaotic early humans rise to enlightenment. Alrighty then. So he goes on to talk about landing strips and trailers, and they're clearly digging up a hill area that contains some huge underground structure that structure, I believe, to be alien. It's U.S. military going after alien tech. Okay. So there's that weirdness. Who knows, right? I'm shaking my head here because things are getting very, 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 very strange. You know, it's like that school in Illinois. Yep. Same place in Illinois as the Capitol building where they had that baby statue of a Baphomet. They're having after school programs, Satan Club. And I know a lot of you know that because we've all passed back and forth emails about it for, I don't know, going on almost 2 weeks now. And I know that Tucker, I believe, talked to one of the men. And there's just, you know, we knew, just like my husband Bigfoot mentioned, you know, the whole thing with religion, with the Constitution. You let one in, you have to let them all in. In my opinion, worshiping something that is evil and harmful isn't good for anyone. All right, let's get to the next share here. Bear with me for a second. Okay, so TJ Squatchy sent me this one. Apparently we have some kind of crazy ad coming up here. California should abolish parenthood in the name of equality. Yeah, I'm so sick of this. You know, a while back, they were talking about, you know, birth giver or birth parent or the ones who gave birth to me. They wanted the parent to be dropped. And these children are referring to their parents, okay, which God says you're supposed to respect your parents. And they are saying something else. So, if California is ever going to achieve true equality, the state must require parents to give away their children. Are you kidding me? Today's Californians often hold up equality, the goal of a just society completely free from bias. As our greatest value, Gavin Newsom makes decisions through an equity lens. Just this makes me sick. But their promise are no match for the power of parents. Fathers and mothers with greater wealth and education are more likely to transfer these advantages to their children. Why is it going back to money and wealth? I don't know about all of you, but I respect and love my parents. Even if you don't agree with your parents all the time, we are to respect and love our parents. And that should just be, right? It shouldn't be something that's taught. It should just be a knowing, in my opinion. So I'm not going to get into this too much, but it's just more of what's going on in the world today. All right, I'm going to stop sharing that one as well. And will you get that, please? I'm sorry. We have somebody coming to the door. I guess it was something. It was a package. All right. Let's see. Now we're going to share something else. Okay, as most of you all know, the Tsunami Advisory is in effect for U.S. West Coast after a volcanic eruption. I don't know, maybe it was aliens. Who knows? Just kidding. A tsunami advisory is in effect for the west coast of the United States after a volcano erupted in the Pacific. This happened, by the way, over by Hawaii. A tsunami has been confirmed and some impacts are expected. The National Weather Service National Tsunami Warning Center said early Saturday. I did put this out on my community page earlier with the .gov, where you can go and follow any and all information that you need to know to stay safe. A tsunami advisory means a dangerous wave is on the way. Is in effect for the following areas stretching from Southern California to Alaska, according to the Warning Center. The California coast from California-Mexico border to Oregon, California border, including San Francisco Bay. The Oregon coast from the Oregon-California border to the Oregon-Washington border, including the Columbia River estuary coast. The outer coast of Washington State from the Oregon-Washington border to Slip Point, Columbia River estuary coast. And the one, I'm not going to attempt that, but it's on that coast. The north coast of British Columbia and Haiti, Guy. I stink at pronouncing these places. The central coast of Northeast Vancouver Island, the outer west coast of Vancouver Island. I'm sorry, but I'm going to skip over this. I cannot pronounce that. The inner and outer coast of Southeast Alaska, from the BC-Alaska border to the Cape Fairweather, Alaska. South Alaska and Alaska Peninsula, Pacific coast from Cape Fairweather, Alaska to Umack Pass, Alaska. Aleutian Islands, Umack Pass, Alaska to Otto, Alaska, including, not going to attempt that one either, but Pribilof Islands. An advisory was also issued for Hawaii, where boats were reportedly moved out of the water by the tsunami and onto docks. A tsunami is currently being observed by all islands. Emergency management, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, tweeted earlier, "We are relieved that there is no reported damage and only minor flooding throughout the islands." So it happened near Tonga. The advisories were issued after an undersea volcano erupted Saturday near the nation of Tonga in the Pacific. So those 2.7 waves that were detected in Alaska, the activity was expected to start at 6 a.m. local time. California's Fort Bragg was forecast to see it start at 7:35, with the Bay Area seeing activity later at 8:10. In Washington, waves were predicted to hit Long Beach starting at 8:35 a.m., followed by other areas in the state later in the morning. Well, it's 11:26 on the East Coast right now. The California Governor's Office of Emergency Services said tsunami heights were expected to be 1 to 2 feet based on what is being seen in Hawaii. All right. So much like myself, we start thinking about 1 to 2 feet. Okay, that's not real high, right? But when you get that much water going into other waterways, that creates not just, more tsunami catastrophe, but flooding. So if you raise your water 1 to 2 feet, that flooding can go for miles. Later waves may be larger within any initial wave, and each wave must last 5 to 45 minutes as a wave encroaches and recedes. Signs of a tsunami include strong current and shoreline that has receded. So the water goes out and then it rushes back in, for anyone who does not know about that. So I will leave the .gov as I left on my community page that there is a tsunami advisory, and everyone can go look at that to stay safe. Okay, going forward, if there's more eruptions, that's going to depend on how catastrophic this is going to end up being. I am going to share one more thing on my screen, and that would be the .gov that I shared earlier on my community page. This is where you can go. It's the NOAA National Weather System. Okay. So I'm going to take myself out of here, and sorry about the dog and the chaos and everything, but it's fine. So this one here gives the magnitude and the original time, the latitude and longitude. It gives you a great map to interact with. This down here, it gives you the Tonga Islands, and it gives you the information to look at there. Okay. And then, oops. I'm just going to have to wait for this to kind of stop spinning so I can, all right, there we go. So it also has the advisories here, and it gives you your colors with the warning in red, advisory in orange, watch in yellow, and threat is purple. So advisory right now, out of Alaska and the California-Mexico border, and that was issued today at 10:28 a.m., and that's Eastern Coast time. Also advisory state of Hawaii issued this morning. So that was about an hour ago. So yeah, it has all this information that you can go and look. Meanwhile, while this happened, let me just get this here. I can scroll here. Geesh. So just saying this is not, all right. I found it a little bit better on my phone. This earlier, this whole thing, this right here, this whole thing was orange. Oh, it still is. So if you push on these things or just hold your cursor over them, it'll give you different information. And then, of course, there was a magnitude of 6.5 earthquake on January 11th. So it does give you older earthquakes. So this is a bulletin put out. This one here, see all these points? Yeah, so if you guys go here, you'll be sure to stay updated and get all the information that you'll need. All right. So all I can say is prayers for all those in the paths of all of this water. It is dangerous. It can be catastrophic. Put your faith in God and The people who are going through this are going through this. Please don't downplay this, but don't make such a big deal that it's going to be like the end of the world, because it's not, okay? Our faith is in God and not in man. And the whole alien thing, it's just showing the ludicrousy of everything. Are there aliens? We don't really know. I believe that they're falling angels, and that I know spiritually is evil and real. But we have an awesome God, and his children, meaning us, only can go to the Father through his son, Jesus. So I rebuke all evil in Jesus' name. And with the upkicks of everything, I think it's pretty safe to say that God's maybe had it. Our children are going to Satan clubs after school. And they are using the Constitution to give excuse to that. And yeah, are they right? No, but in a sense, per our Constitution, if you allow, it allows freedom of religion. So this is the fight that we stand on. It's a spiritual war. It's good against evil. It always has been, and it always will be, until God puts a stop to it. All right, well, do what you can and to prepare for the craziness, because who knows at this point. I'm glad that we prepared. I'm glad that we continue to prepare, because anything that comes our way, we know that we've done the best that we can, and the rest we ask for help from God. And we're not promised anything, but God does answer prayers every day. All right, well, y'all have a blessed day. And it's sunny here in the Adirondacks, and it is negative 18 degrees. And so yeah, stay warm and keep preparing, especially for times like these. And our prayers go out to any and all in the path of these horrific events of water from volcanoes, which I guess was a mile underneath in the ground, like underneath the ocean floor. So this was like a mile. So it was a very shallow earthquake. Maybe tinfoil TV can do something today to better inform us what's going on with that. All I know is that, there's shallow earthquakes, and then there's ones that are like 25 miles down. So I don't really know too much about that, and I'm not going to claim to. All right. Y'all have a great day. God bless.